how you doing? This is Jason Justice again with another in my online series of lessons, right? I know I posted, it's been a while, I posted a video about major blues scales. So, and of course got some comments about there's no such thing as a major blues scale and all of that. So let me tell you what my thinking is on the whole major minor blues scale thing. Now let's talk about the normal blues scale, right? Which is basically a minor pentatonic scale, a 5-note scale that we add another note to. We add a flat 5 to. All right. So like if we're in the for alto players or whatever, but I'm going to do this on alto today. So if I'm in the key of G, that's your standard stock true G blues scale, all right? And that's what everybody's always thought of it as, the G blues scale. And the cool thing about that particular scale is that it blows over all of the changes on a, you can blow that scale over all of the changes on a G blues progression. In concert pitch B flat blues, right? So that's that scale. Now I was talking about a major blues scale, which is basically a major pentatonic scale adding a flat 3. Remember, the difference between these two scales is that that first one is a minor blues scale adding a flat 5 or the 5th note flatted, right? On this one, on the major blues scale, it's a major pentatonic scale adding a flat 3, like this. Do you hear the difference between the two scales? Both of them lay really easy on the horn, right? Both of them lay really easy. Like for that minor one, you've actually, if you're looking at this video, I'm hoping that you're looking at the blues scales that I posted on my website at www.jasonjustice.com underneath the lessons and exercises with Jason. There's a drop-down menu there, and these exercises are available there, 1 octave. Now, of course, you can purchase the 2-octave series in both of these scales. You can also purchase my 1, 2, 3, 4 method there, which takes these scales and breaks them up in a way that make them make more sense as far as where to place them when you're improvising. Now, there's really no bad thing about using these kind of scales when you're improvising. They're down and dirty. They're easy to memorize. You can do them in multiple keys, and the really cool thing about them is that, especially with that major blues scale. Now, with the minor blues scale, we're going to call that first scale the minor blues scale. With that, you can blow it over all the changes, right, in that G blues progression. With the major blues scale, so I'm going to play that again for you. With that, if you blow that on the 4 chord or the 5 chord, it's not going to sound as hip, right? If you play that on a C, where the C chord, the 4 chord comes in, that's not going to sound very hip. If you play it where the D chord comes in, the 5 chord, it's not going to sound very hip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise through 2 choruses of a blues scale. The first chorus, I'm going to use just the major, okay? Just that major scale, major blues scale. And I'm going to show you how easy it is once you've got these memorized. It sounds like you're a master. It sounds like that you're hitting all the changes inside of that scale. Very different from blowing that minor pentatonic thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch on my computer. I'm going to blow the minor blues scale over the entire progression. Then I'm going to go to the major blues scales and use that. And then, this is the cool thing I want to show you. What I've been showing a lot of my students is, I'm playing the major blues scale, right? That major sounding blues scale. And then when I get to the 4 chord, to that C, I play the minor blues scale on that, and it's really hip sounding. It's really hip sounding. Check it out. All right, let me, I have my trusty band here that's going to play with us, okay? And it's going to be hip. They're on time. They're in the right clothes for the gig. Boom. Here we go. Get a little bit 4 bars of introduction here, okay? I hope you can hear the background tracks. Here's that minor blues scale. That's just the blues scale. Here's the major. C. Now mix them up. Pretty cool, huh? I mean, really, all I'm doing is utilizing the notes of the scale. I'm not even going outside and bringing in other notes, other notes into this. I am just using those scale tones, right? The minor blues scale and the major blues scale, I call it. Now, if you're out there watching this thing and you're like, oh, dude, that's not really what that is. That's it, you know, whatever, okay? This is just a way that I'm able to identify this for my students, right? And bring them into playing these blues solos. I mean, you heard that. That sounded okay, right? I mean, it wasn't pyrotechnic. It wasn't vertical as heck. There wasn't a whole lot of notes, but it still sounded okay in relationship to the changes that were being played. And it makes you sound like $1,000,000 to cats that have been around and playing for a long time. When you're able to play the changes, when you're able to hit the changes, and not just blow that one minor blues scale over the whole thing. I mean, you're able to do it like I demonstrated in the first chorus, right? The first chorus with the great band that was backing me up. You can take just the notes in that G minor blues scale, or what would be known as the G blues scale, that has been known as that forever, right? And play that, and it sounds hip, and it sounds fine. But it sounds hipper, I think, and I think that other people will agree with me. It sounds hipper if you sound like you're playing inside the changes. Like you're playing that G major blues scale thing, right? You're playing that, it goes to the 4 chord, it goes to the C chord, and you go to the C major blues scale. And then it goes back to the 1, right? It goes back to that 1 or that G scale, right? We're talking in E flat. We're talking for alto saxophone right now. And so it goes back to that, and it's hip. And then you go to the 5 chord, that D chord, ba-da-dun-da-da, ba-da-dun-da-da, ba-da-dun-da-ba-da-dun-da-ba-da-da. Okay, so I hope that this is going to help a little bit, so people aren't out there, oh, there's no such thing as that. Well, you know, music is made to be bent. The edges are made to be bent, especially improvisatory music. We need to push the envelope a little bit. If we want to call it a major blues scale, let's call it a major blues scale. If we want to call it a pentatonic scale with a flat 3, or a minor pentatonic scale with a flat 5, like for the minor blues scale, or so be it. What I'm trying to do is get you to start incorporating this kind of stuff in your playing, and it's so easy. It's so easy, and you can go out and make hundreds of dollars a month. Notice how I didn't say thousands. Hundreds of dollars a month playing with R&B and blues bands using riffs like that, basing your playing on those kind of scales, and you'll be okay. Because once you get those scales down, then you can start adding all sorts of stuff. Then you can start, you can start getting into the really deeper theoretical stuff, more notes, more vertical, that kind of a thing. This is just the basis for what we're going to do. So once again, I'm Jason Justice. I'm here in Denver, Colorado. If you've got any questions about this video that I just put together for you, email them to me. Go to my website, www.jasonjustice.com. If you want to take some lessons with me, doesn't matter where you are, as long as you've got a computer, a webcam, and Skype, we can get hooked up. So I've got on my page there, I've got a couple of 2-octave setups on these, and we can talk a little bit more in another video that I'm fixing to put out about the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. So, all right, if playing the saxophone was easy, everybody be doing it, so practice hard. Talk to you soon.